When you're playing something like a paradiddle, it's usually not really a mechanical issue that's preventing your hands from speeding up. It's a brain issue where you are processing it in a way that is slowing you down. So you might be thinking right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, left. And then your brain might be like, I can't do this. How do I right, left, right, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right? And it just like stops. Just like with reading, Quickbreather. Like that takes forever. But if I read it as a chunk and say quick breather to let you know there are many more resources on my channel and website, and you start thinking of the words, then you're able to process things faster and understand it. So it's the same thing with a rudiment. You might be looking at this, okay, right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, right, right. Wait, what is going on? What am I supposed to do? But if you start thinking of the group of rudiments or stickings or rhythms or whatever, and you put this together and go, oh, this is what's called a float flam drag. And you do it off the right and then off the left. And then you do an invert. And then cool, flam accents. I know how to do flam accents. 1, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to right, left, right, right. This makes it so that you can like learn this stuff much faster. Like if you're looking at this weird rhythm right here where it's got the, you're like, what on earth is that? It's just a book report into a slurred puttada, and then you just do it off the left. What you're likely having an issue with, you are thinking too much of right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. What you want to train your brain to do is to think of the group, and one of the ways that you can do that is think right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. So I'm thinking of the group. Right, left, 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 right, 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 right. Right. Okay, so I'm thinking of now just the right hand, and I'm thinking of a 2-chunk grouping while doing this. You just got to think of it differently and think of the group of the phrase that you're working on rather than the individual notes when doing that, and that just takes time. There's exercises that can help you with that. If you're on my home tab of the tube of you and you scroll all the way down to the technique section, the rudiment builders playlist, it's got a lot of different videos to like break down different rudiments and to like work on them. For paradiddle, it's one of the first ones up here. It's called Paradiddle Zoom Zoom, which my wife named, and I think it's hilarious. It looks fancy, but just play it slow. Right, left, right, left. Guess what? That's what your hands were doing a moment ago while playing a paradiddle. And then you have this da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So that's part of what you're playing on a paradiddle. Cool. Then you put it in context where you're playing an actual paradiddle. This line is the same thing. You're just starting off the other hand. This is the first chunk of a paradiddle where you're doing a herta, and then it goes into a paradiddle. So an exercise like this, what it's actually doing is it's breaking down the rudiment into different mechanics. The fastest that you can play that rhythm right there is the fastest that you can play a paradiddle. Why? Because that is right, 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 left, left, left. All you're doing is leaving off one note. Same thing for the second half of this particular exercise. This part is the first chunk of a paradiddle where you're doing the herta. You're just leaving off the diddle part. The fastest you can play is the fastest that you can also play a paradiddle. These rudiment builders, they're all developed to help you work on your paradiddles, or your paradiddle diddle, or your flam 5, or your flam accents, or cheeses, blah, 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 blah. So there's a lot of different exercises in here that can help you with that. If you go all the way down to the bottom of this rudiment builder section, there's this like fast, slow, fast, and slow, fast, slow. And you're like, what on earth does that mean? So let me show you with 16th notes. Since paradiddle is 4 notes, instead of going one click at a time, it's got BPM ranges where it's like 40, 60, 40. What does that mean? Further down, 40, 240. What? Let's say the fastest you can play a paradiddle is maybe 120 or something. So when you click on this one, from 40 to 120 to 40, what it's going to do is it's going to play 16th notes starting at 40 and then go up one click at a time every single 4 counts. So it's going to count you off, and then it starts to slowly speed up, go faster and faster and faster and faster. And all it's doing is just 16th notes. So you'd sit here and play your paradiddle, and it goes faster and faster up to your maximum tempo, which we selected 120. It holds it here for 4 measures. So you play paradiddle, paradiddle, paradiddle at your maximum speed. And then what it does after that is it slows it back down one click at a time until it gets to 40 beats a minute. This type of tool allows you to refine a rudiment, a phrase, a measure, whatever. Or the opposite of that, where you start fast, go slow, and then go back to fast with the different subdivisions. So you can do this with 8th note, swung 8th note, triplets, 16th note, swung 16th note, or quarter notes. Before I get to the next tip, I just want to say really really quickly that you can find literally thousands of hours of free drumming play-alongs and drumming tips in the link at the top of the description or by going into my home tab of YouTube. These exercises can help you speed up your singles as well as your endurance. You just go into the timestamp, and this one starts as slow as 20 beats a minute and it goes all the way up to 160. Now the reason why it starts slow is so you can refine your technique. In order to play fast singles, you need to have relaxed hands. That's not just the fingers, but also your hand, your forearm, even your shoulders need to be nice and relaxed. If you are tight in these different areas, then it's going to constrain your motion and make it so you're not going to be able to move as fast. So if you practice this stuff slow, then you'll eventually be able to play it fast. I've been drumming for almost 30 years and I still slow things down to 40 to refine my technique. So if you are newer to drumming, certainly you can do that too. So get out of the way of your playing, and that'll make it so that eventually, as you work on your refining your technique, then you'll be able to play fast. There's some other exercises in here that are great for working on your singles, like the stick control variations with filler. We have right, 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 left, right, 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 left. And then this measures the exact same thing, except you're filling it in with left hands. So these are some other exercises that you can play to work on increasing your single stroke speed. If you want some other ones, there's all these like single doubles variations. Check, singles, check, doubles, check, single doubles, check, double singles. And then it extends it so it's longer. So this is a really cool exercise that you can work on to work on your single strokes into your double strokes, which rhythmically sound the same. But to work on this again, slow this down really slow. I'd recommend starting around 40, but if you want to go slower, you can totally do that. And slowly speed it up. And there's a ton more exercises in here, 61 that are related to working on your endurance, speed, etc. If you scroll down into the technique section, there's a few hundred exercises in here. So what I recommend is like clicking on the header for each one of these sections, whether it's the chop one or the grid variations or the technique or whatever, and then just like go with a playlist that looks interesting for what you want to work on. But for what you're saying to work on flam 5s, there's the playlist called the rudiment builders. There's 3 exercises that are really good for working on your flam 5s. Flam 5 builder, flam 5 builder variation 2, and then variation 3. Flam 5 builder, this is what your right hand plays during a flam 5. This play along will allow you to hear what your right hand's doing, and then you slowly layer in one left hand at a time. So in this instance, we're adding in a grace note right here. We're adding in this left hand accent, and then we're adding in a left hand diddle right here. And then we actually have full flam 5s for this whole line right here. And then what we're doing is removing one right hand at a time going through here. So we're getting rid of this right hand, then we get rid of this right hand, then we get rid of this grace note right hand, and then finally we get rid of the right hand accent right here. And then this is what your left hand plays during a flam 5, is that very last line. If you want to work on your flam 5s, the flam 5 builder is a great way to do that. There's also 2 more variations in here. So variation 2, this one is more for preparing you to play any of the thousands of grid variations. So this one starts off with check, 5 strokes, flam accent check, flam 5s. And then it does the exact same pattern, but now we've permutated. We've shifted over the accent. So now the accent is on the second partial of the triplet. And then when we do it again, we do it for the third partial of the triplet. But the variation 3, the accent's stationary the entire time, but this one is now permutating the rudiment itself. So now it's tap 5s and then ta-cha-da-da-da. And then we move it again. So it puts it so that the 5 stroke starts on 3 and the flam 5 starts on 3. So you can find this on the home tab. You scroll down into the technique section, rudiment builders playlist right here.